In this video, I wanted to see if I could catch the biggest carp out the pond in the field again. So I went on down to the pond with my method feeder and my spinner rig, got them tossed out and waiting for the bites to come. So let's get right into it. Today, I'm back at the pond again in hope of catching the 13-pound carp that lives in here, or any carp at all. It's been a very rainy day so far, so I need to set this umbrella up fast. It's drizzling right now and it's only supposed to get worse. So I'm going to set this up as soon as I can and then I'm going to get the rods out. Here we are, simple setup. I just need to literally extend it. That was tougher than usual for some reason, but there we are. My brolly's now set up so I can chuck all my belongings under there out the rain. Okay, now that there's shelter and my camera gear is not going to get soaked, I can set the rods up. As I said, I'm going to be trying to target the 13-pounder today. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to be using a spinner rig with some pop-up boilies on, because I guess you could say bigger carp are prone to like bigger boilies. Now I know this is a farm pond and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so these carp in here won't have seen boilies before. So on my second rod, I've got my method feeder and I'm going to be using the yellow wafter on it today instead of the red ones, because I know the red ones, they always work for me in here, but today I'm going to be using the yellow one to try and mimic a piece of corn. So the yellow wafter will be on that rod and then my spinner rig is on that rod. I'll pop a PVA bag on that rod as well with some pellets. I'm not too sure where I'll chuck it out yet. I'll fathom that out when I get to the time. But I haven't got long today as the clocks have ticked back and I didn't realise this morning. But I've now found out that the sun's setting at 4:45, so I really don't have that long this evening. I've got 3 hours because it's 1:30 right now. So 3 hours and a bit basically, which is the time I usually spend down here anyway. So there should be no problem catching at least one carp. But I'm going to get to setting the rods up now. I'm going to chuck out the method feeder first because that one's easiest to set up. I literally just have to put a bit of ground bait in and that's that. I've already got the wafter on. Actually no I don't, I've got a red wafter on as you can see there. I need to change that to the yellow one, so I'll do that shortly. Here's the yellow wafters I'm going to be using. I've owned these for the good part of a year now and I've never really used them. That's what they look like. They're just 10mm boilies, very, very tiny. Same size as my red ones actually, but these smell very potent. They smell amazing, very tropical, but this will mimic a piece of corn and it'll also get a nice scent out there. So I'm just gonna take the red one off, put that on the floor somewhere for a moment. And then this one, I'll just slip right onto the bayonet rig. And there we have it, simple as that. I've now got my yellow wafter attached. Now I've got the feeder ready, I've loaded some ground bait in it. So let's get this rod cast out real quick. With this rod here, I'm gonna pop it out where I usually put it, and that's by this tree to my left here. So I'm just gonna go with an underarm, little toss out to where I usually go. And there we are. That's perfect, spot on. That is exactly where I usually have it, and that's exactly where I usually catch a carp. Now this next rod is the one that I've got the spinner rig attached to. I've got a sort of natural looking pop-up on there. It's a manila pop-up. I find they do quite well, to be honest with you. And here's my rig. I've just got an inline lead spinner rig with the pop-up on, and that's ready to toss out now. I'm just gonna knock up a PVA bag. Now that's all I'll use to knock the PVA bag up, just some bloodworm pellets, and I'll whack that on the rig. Now these bloodworm pellets, they smell atrocious. Last time I used them when I was night fishing, they almost made me throw up, man. They're disgusting. But it always seems to be the disgusting smelling baits that catch you fish. It's weird. So I'll load the PVA bag at the bottom with a couple of these bloodworm pellets, just like that. Pop the rig on top of that and top it off with some more bloodworm pellets. And there we go, that's my PVA bag knocked up, quick and easy. That thing will surely catch me the biggest carp in here. And if it doesn't today, then next video, I'm gonna be trying natural baits. I'm not stopping until I catch this thing. Anyway, let's toss this PVA bag out somewhere in the pond. I'm just gonna grab the rod, which I've already done actually. This rig I'm using is very heavy. It's the same lead I was using at the big lake I night fished a couple of weeks back. But so that means I'm gonna have to do an underarm cast on this because otherwise it'll go flying to the other side of the field. That's how heavy this lead is. But with this one, I'm just gonna go sort of near the bushy tree over there. So let's give it a shot. Underarm cast as well. That was terrible. Oh no, it weren't. I got it exactly where I wanted it, to be fair. I let go a bit funny, that's all. And there we go then, both of the rods are out now, and I'm gonna catch me a carp in the next couple hours. The rod I'm using down here is a new combination of a rod that I've knocked up actually. It's actually the Carp barbel rod. I'm using a barbel rod for carp fishing, but it'll do the trick. I mean, barbel tend to fight harder than carp do, so it can definitely withstand some weight, this rod can. And then I'm using a new reel I got as well from Carp too. It's the Carp Distance reel. It does have a name there actually, Zelos. Don't know how to pronounce that, but it's a very good reel. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll catch a carp on that today because I want to test out the rod. But here we go then. Under my brolly, I've got a very close reach to the rods just in case they do go off. I can get on them right away. But yeah, this is the setup under here. Literally my box, my bag, and my other box and my net. I haven't bought an awful lot of gear, but that's all good. You don't need a lot of gear at this pond anyway. You just need your rods and your bait, really. And in this instance, a brolly because it's raining. But yeah, when I said it was raining, it wasn't. Now it actually is. Look at the droplets on top of the water. You can actually see it. It's hammering it down, really. It's not heavy rainfall, but it's coming down fast and it's everywhere. It's that type of rain that you don't want to get stuck in. It's the rain that gets you absolutely soaked. Now, what I'm going to do with the method feeder today is I'm going to keep bringing it in, loading it with fresh ground bait and chucking it back out into the exact same location throughout the whole session. So I think I'll bring it in every 20 minutes, maybe even every 15, just to get as much bait out there as possible to lure a carp over. And seeing as the rod's been out about 20 minutes now, I'd say it's time for a recast. So I'll bring that rod in, load it with bait again and chuck it back to the exact same spot because that's where I'll most likely lure a carp to. Here we are then, let's pick it up, take off the drag real quick and just bring it in. I know exactly where I left it out, it's literally just there, so it's not hard to cast to at all. Just like that, I've got fresh bait in. So let's get to the other end of the rod and chuck it back out to where it was. As I said, it shouldn't be too hard. I know exactly where it was. It's literally about 4.5, 5 meters away from me. So let's give this a toss right now. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly where it was before. And there we are. That's my game plan for today with the feeder rod. And with the spinner rig, I think I'm going to leave that out for most of the session. I might bring it in once and recast it. But for the time being, I'm going to use my catapult and launch out some of that bloodworm pellet over to where it's casted, just to get a bit of scent around it to lure some carp to that one as well. So I'll do that one now. I've just got to find the pellets. The pellets are here. And my catapult, so that's at the very bottom there. Right, I'll launch about 3 catapults worth of bait out now. Here's catapult number 1. I'm going to stay under the brolly because it's really chucking it down now. So I'll come this side and toss that out. I got that right out to where it needed to be. Now I'll just sit and wait for a little longer and hope for the bite to come as soon as possible. While I'm sat here, I was looking around the field and I've just noticed a singular mushroom, like one single mushroom over here. I'm going to go and have a look at it. Look at that. That's a bit random, isn't it? One massive mushroom in the middle of a field. That looks a bit funny, that does, to be fair. Like, if you look around, there's no other mushroom, and then there's just that. Why it's there, I don't know, but it's quite cool. I swear, when I'm watching the top of the water, I keep looking and seeing, like, little swivels. Like, you know when a carp comes on the surface and, like, say his tail flicks out the water, and they leave them ripples on the top of the water? I keep seeing a bunch of them around the middle and a few over the other side of the pool. I don't know if it's carp or the wind rippling. I'm pretty sure it's the wind. But there's a chance that one of them ripples may have been a carp on the surface, which would be really random for a day like today. It's a bit cold for the carp to be on the surface, but there's a possibility. All I know is I'm cast out into probably the 2 best locations to be cast out to in this pond. Right by that tree, I know a lot of carp lurk there, and then over by that overhanging tree there, a lot of carp lurk there. Not this time of year though. In the summer, they're always there. But seeing as the water levels dropped about a metre, or a metre and a little bit more maybe, but since the water levels dropped about a metre, it's not that deep over there anymore. So the carp are not going to be over there. It's just about a foot deep there. You know how you can see to the bottom there? It's the same over there, which then the carp ain't going to be there. That's why when I tossed this rod out, I came inwards a little bit, so it's a bit deeper. I've got a bit of depth to where my bait is out, basically. But honestly, the time of year it is now, seeing as the pond levels have dropped, I need to fathom the pond out again, because in the summer, I knew the pond like the back of my hand. I fathomed it out, I knew where the carp were all the time, and I caught quite a few throughout the summer. But this time of year, seeing as the water levels dropped, I need to find the new drop-off points. And to be fair, I do know where they are. It's not hard to tell, but it hasn't where the carp are going to be. That's what I don't know about this time of year. My best bet is that they're going to be at the very bottom, the deepest part, or around there anyway. Let me know what you guys think. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to move the rod with the spinner rig on. I'll have to knock up a new PVA bag, obviously, but I think I've got a spot in mind where I want to cast this out to permanently for the rest of the session. So I'll just start by bringing the rod in. I'll have to let the drag off again. But yeah, we'll bring this in now. And where I want to cast it to next is just around about there. My finger is basically just past the middle where the deepest part is. There goes nothing. Then I'm loading up another PVA bag for the spinner rig. Something you guys have mentioned for the spinner rig, actually, I need to get some tungsten putty for the end of that. I never knew that, so thank you for telling me. I've got some on order, but for now the rig will be just fine. Okay, I've got the bag loaded now. I just need to twist it off and put some PVA tape on the end, which I will do in a second. But there we are, that's sorted for now. Next PVA bag's knocked up, so I'll get this cast out in a moment. So here goes nothing, we'll get this out now. To the location I mentioned just on camera. I want to get it just past halfway to the deep part. That's where I think the spinner rig will catch me a carp. So here goes nothing with the underarm. In fact, I'm not going to do an underarm because the last one I did weren't the best. I'll just do a really light, gentle overarm. There we are, that was a lot better to be honest. Got it in the middle where I wanted it. Maybe I'll start doing overarms with them heavy leads at this pond. And you know what, whilst I'm at it casting the rods out again, I'm going to stick to my word and bring in the feeder again. Put some fresh bait and get that out. Right, the rain has finally stopped and it's absolutely freezing now. It's like one thing or another. It's either raining and it's not that cold. Second it stops raining, it's freezing. I'm forgetting it's that time of year now where I've got to start wrapping up in 5 layers of clothing to be warm whilst fishing. I think next session I'll make a start by bringing a pair of gloves because my hands are chilly right now. To be honest though, I'm kind of surprised the rods ain't gone off yet. I thought at least the feeder would have gone off. So yeah, that's kind of surprised me. I don't think yellow wafters work very well in this pond though. Believe me, I've tried them when I first found out carp was in here, and it was always the red ones that I caught on, never nothing else. And then a few months ago now, if you remember the video where I tried to catch carp on corn in this pond, that didn't work either, and that's like a very natural bait. So I don't think them sort of natural baits actually do very well in this pond. I'm gonna have to try like worms or maggots. To be fair, I have tried maggots in the pond before on my pole when I've caught little silverfish, roach and rudd and perch and stuff. I've never caught a carp on the maggots, so I'm ruling that one out. Worms maybe, worms might work. So I could try sinking some worms to the bottom with a lead. Maybe I'll give that a shot. I've heard that paste works quite well in this pond. I'm not sure what type of paste, but a guy I saw here before mentioned he caught quite a lot of carp on paste, so maybe I'll try that. But for now, I'm honestly just going to bring in the yellow wafter and put a red one on, and you watch. I'll put the red one on and I'll catch one right away. Red wafter is acquired. I've chucked away the yellow one because that was doing me no good, and the red one's now on. So let's get this back out to where it was previously, and you watch, I'll get one right away. I'm wishful thinking here, but I reckon I will. There we go. Toss that right back to where it was before. Perfect. Now we wait again. I'm not too sure how long I've got left till sunset. I'll have a look at the time actually. It's just gone 10 past 3. So that leaves me with an hour and a bit. I've just come a stroll around this side of the pond now. You can just about see my peg over there where the umbrella and the rods are. I doubt anything will go off anytime soon, but if it does, I'm right by it, so I can just run there anyway. But I've just come here to look around this tree because I'm trying to figure out if there is actually any carp around the tree. Usually you can kind of see them because the water's a little bit see-through. You can kind of see to the bottom. Not always, but sometimes you can. And you can just about see the outlines of carp now and then. It's rare, but you can. But today the water's very brown due to the time of year it is. It's exactly the same over by that tree there too. You can sometimes see the carp in the water over there because it's so shallow really, and it gets mega deep in the middle. That's the weird thing. It's very shallow on the outskirts and then it just drops off right away. I still find it hard to believe that carp live in this thing. Like right in front of me now there's a few carp. Makes me laugh for some reason. I don't exactly know how many carp are in here. My guess is there's about 10. I've caught many common carp out this thing, and you can tell when you've caught it before. You start to recognise the fish basically. And I've definitely caught the same one multiple times in this pond before, but I've caught, I'd say 6, maybe 7 different common carp, and then I've caught the one mirror carp. I believe there's another mirror carp in here. I've seen signs of another one before. I'll only find out when I catch it again though. But I definitely haven't caught every carp out this pond yet. Definitely not. I think it's got quite a good stocking, but they're just tough to catch because they're wild, obviously, and they don't get caught often, so that makes it tough fishing, and that's what I enjoy about it. Right there, see them ripples? I've just seen a little tiny fish jump. That was like the first sign of life at the pond today. Minus them ripples, what might not have even been carp, but that's definitely the first fish I've seen today, so I've seen a fish, that's a good sign. It's not a carp though, so I don't know why I'm celebrating. Funnily enough, I'm now down to 45 minutes remaining of the session, which is not a good sign. I don't like the fact that I've only got 45 minutes left. I mean, me personally, I'd stay for another 3 hours happily just to catch a fish, but time's gonna get cut short now by the sunset because it gets dark way too early. I'll be honest, I would have come earlier and spent the day here, but I had to go out this morning filming another video, which you'll probably have seen before this. I got some new fish, but yeah, That's the only reason I didn't come this morning. But yeah, I do hope I catch a carp in the next 45 minutes. That'd be ideal, really. I fancy laying my eyes on one, to be fair. I love the carp out of this pond. If you guys are new here, I'd assume most of you aren't, but if you're new here, I'll pop some images on screen here of the carp that I've landed out this place before. They're very nice fish. They've got lovely colours to them. They're just damn hard to catch. I've said it before though, that's what I like about it. I love the fact that they're hard to catch for some reason. Makes it a challenge every time you come down here, you know. It's not easy to catch them, but when you do, it's rewarding. I think I mentioned in the last video as well that I found another pond that has potentially got some carp in. And if not carp, it's definitely got some form of fishing to catch. And that's literally 2 fields down that way. If I walk through this field, walk through the next one, I mean, it's a little trek away, but it's close. So I might have to give that a shot soon. I'm debating whether to go like the start of next year though, when it starts to warm up again. Because if it holds carp or even silvers, they're gonna be tough to catch this time of year because it's just so cold. That's what I don't like about this time of year. The fishing, it's just impossible. I say impossible, it's just really hard, not impossible. But I'm worried if I go there with all my gear set up and I don't catch, then that'll be annoying. And a big reason why I wouldn't catch is purely just because the time of year. I suppose it'd be a nice adventure though, so let me know if you guys want to see me go there and I'll see what I can do. Usually when I come here and I get a bite, it's within the first 5 minutes or it's within like the last half an hour of the session. So it definitely wasn't in the first 5 minutes, otherwise you would have seen a fish by now. But I'm approaching the last half an hour. So if my little myth in my head is true, I'll catch a carp pretty soon. I'm gonna be honest as well, the weather's perfect for it today. Perfect weather to catch a carp out this pond. It ain't perfect for me. It ain't perfect conditions for me to be out in. It's really not nice at all. But for some reason, on cold, wet days, the carp always bite. The carp are always on the feed. Right, so it's now 4 o'clock. I've got half an hour left. Let's roll on this next half an hour. And linking back to what I said earlier, hopefully I catch a carp. You can kind of see that the sun has started to go down now. It's got a bit darker outside. There's no sun in sight and it's got darker over the last 5 minutes, basically. So I'm just going to sit back and wait under my chair here for the next half an hour. Hope for a few bites like I have done the whole session. And yeah, there's nothing much I can do aside that. So hopefully the next time I pick up the camera, I'll have a fish hooked on the end of the rod. Right, I've not picked the camera up at all really for the last 20 minutes or so, but it's 25 past now and I'm not trying to get stuck in the dark, and to be honest I'm freezing cold and I just want to get home and sit by the fire, to be honest. So I'm going to start to pack up now. I'm gutted I haven't caught one. I'll bring this rod in first though, because I reckon the feeder's more likely to get me something today. This one was just to try and catch the so-called 13-pounder that lurks in the pond. Yeah, obviously it had no luck. So that's rod number 1 packed up now, and it is now time to get this one in. So I'm going to do just that. Again, I'm absolutely gutted that I didn't catch a fish on it. I really thought that the feeder would get me something today. If not that, the spinner rig. I come here with high hopes as usual, but you know, you can't always catch one. And just like that, both of the rods are in now. But I've got to get a rig along because I don't want to get caught in the dark, as I've already mentioned. It's just starting to rain again as well, and I don't want to get stuck in that either, so I'm going to hurry off. So yeah, I come for a session on the pond thinking I was going to catch something, but you win some, you lose some at this place. I think I mentioned before, it seems like there's a pattern with this place. If I come one week and I don't catch, the next week I'll come and I do catch. It's a bit like that here. All in all, I had a good time being out here on the bank. I do just enjoy sitting around this pond, to be honest. It's nice, but today was a different story. My God, it was cold. Next time I come, I'm wrapping up. I've learnt my lesson now. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up here. So I hope you all enjoyed watching. I'm sorry I didn't catch, but I hope you enjoyed the vlog anyway. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss another video in the future. Follow my Instagram, wilf_fishing. I'll be posting pictures of fish I've caught on there, fish from my pond, etc, etc. So check that out. Become a member of the channel to help fund these videos so I can make more of them along the line. But for now everyone, I'm heading in. So I'll see you all in the next video. Peace for now.